everyone. Today's panel discussion, we are going to discuss why artificial intelligence. But before that, what is artificial intelligence? For me, artificial intelligence or AI refers to software technologies that make a computer think and act like a human. Simply, as we humans learn from experience, machines with AI can also do that. So, to discuss it more further, I have Dr. Suresh, Associate Professor, School of Computer and Information Sciences, IGNOU. And then I have Dr. Vipul Vashisht, Group Director, Technology from IRT Digital Analytics. And last, I have Sunil Arora, founder of Gyanscore Services Private Limited. So first question, I'll go on with Dr. Suresh. So what is artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence, before speaking about what is artificial intelligence, let us start with that phrase which every one of us know. The quite opposite word is natural intelligence. So what is natural intelligence? That is something which you are not intentionally acquiring. You have it by birth and it just keeps on enriching as your life goes on. Now, artificial intelligence is something wherein you are imparting some training so that something which is not intelligent is trying to become intelligent, or becoming intelligent maybe not to the extent wherein you are expecting, but definitely intelligent when compared to the earlier stage. The most complicated object in the world is in our head, that is brain. We are able to make a lot of artificial things. Somebody lost a leg, we are able to make an artificial limb. Somebody hand, artificial hand, everything. But if somebody is brain dead, until today, we don't have something in hand which really works almost perfectly, if not perfectly, like the brain that was already existing. So, what I am saying is artificial intelligence means whatever capabilities are there to the brain, we have to impart through several methods to the machines, which are nothing but iron or steel originally, but to make them think like the human brain. Though success is not yet 100%, but definitely people are inching towards a significant improvement that a machine can behave like a human or human brain after the application of some technologies, algorithms to it. So that is, from my perspective, is artificial intelligence.
Sir, what do you want to say about your perspective of how you define artificial intelligence?
It was in 1956 that the term was first pioneered by the scientists who were working in New York. So as of today, artificial intelligence is everywhere, and it is an umbrella term. Like a lot of people have different convocation of the term artificial intelligence. Under artificial intelligence, there are several other tools and technology like machine learning, artificial neural network, fuzzy logic. So it's basically a set of lot of tools and technologies that basically really relate to artificial intelligence.
Okay. Sir, what do you want to say about it? Like how you define artificial intelligence?
Well, thank you for this, and yeah, very rightly said by my panel partners. Artificial intelligence is something like when you talk of a small kid, I mean, how he learns the things. He's learning it, looking at his surroundings and his whatever is taught to him. So that's the way. I mean, gradually when he goes step by step from where he is and he learns how to speak, the others what they are doing. So from that side, he's picking up the cues, and so in the similar way, we look at how we can give these feedbacks to computers and they can learn from what all surroundings they are in. So and gradually it builds up on its intelligence and they start taking the decisions the way the small kid starts taking up with all corrections and everything whatever is given to him from his parents.
Okay.
So
Now, sir, how artificial intelligence suddenly? Like what is it that was not possible earlier that artificial intelligence can do now?
AI is existing since long time. 1956, he mentioned. and we all studied artificial intelligence as part of our curriculums 2-3 decades back. But now there is a lot of buzz about AI. The simple reason is volumes. Earlier, since we don't have volumes, we don't have Flipkarts, we don't have Amazons, all those things, there is no volume as such. Today, what is happening? By the end of the day, if you calculate how many people visited Flipkart, it's in millions. The same is the case with Amazon. The same is the case with Barnes and Noble and other e-commerce. And it is not just the case of e-commerce. You think different sectors. At that time, you don't have many people flying. Now you have too many flights, multiple runways, many people checking in, checking out. You have volumes. Now, humanly, it is not possible to work with these higher volumes. Earlier, our algorithms were there, computer science is there, information technology was there. At that time, we used to write algorithms and they used to give us output in significant amount of time that whatever volume is there, our algorithm is working and we are getting output. Okay. But one important thing is the output should be fast enough. Okay. Suppose I still remember when I was writing program with Fortran, I used to wait for 10-15 minutes for me to get the output and ultimately it says that there is an error in your program. So the 15 minutes I waited and now I have to check my program where the error is. Now your algorithm is working for low volumes. So there are 100 people, 200 people, it works. Now the same algorithm I am applying for 2 million, 3 million. We don't know how many days will it take for it to really do the output. That is the reason now this artificial intelligence has come into the picture, because with AI what happens is it doesn't give you 100% accuracy, but then it gives significant accuracy.
Okay.
You cannot wait forever for 100% accuracy. If you are getting an accuracy of 90 and above in significant amount of time, that's fair enough. So that is the reason now without AI we can't live, because you can't stop volumes. You cannot say to the people don't shop from Flipkart or Amazon or don't fly, all those things. Now volumes are there. Now you need algorithms. Technology was there. Now we are applying that technology. Since application started, now the area started improving. Earlier it's only artificial intelligence. Now there are several areas of it which are working on different situations.
Okay.
So that is the reason why we need artificial intelligence now. And another thing is jobs. With application of technology, we have jobs also. As per Gartner's report, in 2020, we are going to have 2.3 million openings in the area of artificial intelligence. Okay, so 23 lakh jobs, they are out there. So whoever pursues that technology are having chances to get a job.
Yeah.
So now there is a demand for AI courses. More and more people want to pursue them and get a job. So that is the reason why artificial intelligence is now.
So on that note, sir, I want to ask you like the same question, that what is possible with AI now, which was not possible earlier?
Apart from AI, there are two other technologies that we need to look at. One is cloud computing and other is big data. Like as you were mentioning, velocity and volume of data. Taking example of Amazon or Flipkart, like the volume and the velocity which was not there earlier, which is there today.
Yeah.
So basically, you need infra to do program on that kind of a volume. If I am running a simple laptop with a simple processor and RAM, nobody can work on AI. So you need lot of processor, a very high RAM and multiple processor working in parallel to work on AI programs. So when we talk of cloud computing is that you are hiring the infrastructure on rent from people like Amazon and Microsoft Azure. Once you have that kind of infra in place, then basically you can run these kind of programs. Other thing is big data. So cloud computing and big data are the two technologies that are running parallel with AI.
Okay.
So big data, you have got lot of open source technologies like Apache. Initially, once a graduate student is out of college, basically how do he start working on AI? So there are a lot of open things which are basically free of cost. You can just simply download those software from the web and you can apply those things and start learning. So that is basically how people should use AI going forward. Big data, cloud computing, AI go hand in hand. And this is one buzz which nobody want to miss nowadays. Whether you talk of student, graduate, businessman, AI is everywhere. So things like, coming to your question, like what are the things which were not possible earlier? Like if you talk of like Uber, like basically Uber will tell me how much time it would take me to reach office. And if I want to order something to eat in between, so it would also calculate the time it would come to me and it would remain, food would remain hot.
Yes.
Google Maps is one thing basically, which is working really well, and a lot of people are using Google Maps right now.
Mhm.
A very simple example is Gmail. Everybody uses Gmail nowadays.
Yes.
You go to Gmail and you will see like there are multiple folders. All your priority mail would come in one folder.
Yeah.
Spam will go in other.
Other,
Your
yes.
Naukri, LinkedIn will go into separate
Yeah.
folder.
The important ones come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
When you start typing a response, it automatically basically pop-ups
Yes.
and it completes the sentence. That is also natural language programming through artificial
Yes.
intelligence. So
Okay.
these are a couple of examples basically which were not happening in
Earlier.
and now basically those are taking.
Like the Uber one, the Google Maps, and this Gmail is the best examples. If we are searching for a simple example, so these are the best to explain
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
Say, suppose if I want to search artificial intelligence, as
Yes.
soon as I type artificial intelligence will automatically pop up.
Yeah.
So this is all AI that is working as a part of Google.
Sir, what is your say about it? Like why artificial intelligence suddenly?
Well, it has become the need of the hour now. I mean, as rightly said by Dr. Vipul and Professor over here, that everyone is coming up with more and more data. All the new technologies are there. The Twitter is there, the Facebook is there, and they are generating tons of data on per minute basis. Like, for example, on WhatsApp, we see in 2018, there were around 37 million messages which are generated on WhatsApp within 1 minute over there. Similarly, 187 million emails are generated, are sent across the world within 1 minute of internet processing. So if that is the amount of data which is being generated, and then on top of it, the Google and others are doing the artificial intelligence, which includes the things like auto correction and then auto completion and response on that. So that's where the algorithms are required, and that's where the AI is playing a huge role in terms of NLP and other aspects. So and these are the examples within IT. Now I'll just take one more case study where the people are using the AI beyond IT sector. Like for example, it is extensively used in terms of crime investigation. Sometime back we have seen that in US, earlier the crimes were investigated or this forensics were done on a very local level, where the investigating officers were manually looking at all the records, and then they were identifying the patterns between the different thefts and crimes which are being happening. Now I can say that these are the things of the past. For last 6 months or so, they are using a tool called Patronizer, which is actually consolidating and collecting data from all the thefts and crimes which are happening across the city, and then they are looking at different patterns. Like as a part of this, they found that yes, some criminals are using some special type of drill in one part of New York City, and after 15 days or a month, they use it in some other part. So this kind of mapping of different thefts and crimes which are happening was not possible with the humans alone, where they have to keep all these things in their brain. But with the advent of AI, the entire brain and memory part has been shifted to cloud computing, and we have enough amount of processing power and cloud to do the things. So these are the advantages which are coming up with the AI as of now, and people are dying for it.
On that note, sir, you explain me what are the applications of artificial intelligence in different areas?
Applications, again, something which is buzzing since long time, but maybe not yet fully operational. On experimental basis, it is there. Autonomous cars, okay, where you don't have drivers.
Okay.
Nowadays, people are not finding enough time to learn driving the car. Okay, still we see a lot of cars with an L board.
Yes.
Okay, and we are very careful not to drive near them.
Yeah.
Because they displayed L, so it's our mistake that we have gone there. Okay.
Yeah.
But in future, you don't need to learn to drive. Thanks to
Automatic.
artificial intelligence. Okay.
Thanks to artificial intelligence or thanks to automatic cars?
I have to say both, as well as people who are sitting in those cars with a lot of courage.
Yeah.
Okay, so because in the experimental stage, accidents also have taken place,
Yes.
but it is at experimental stage. So one is autonomous cars. Okay, it's a direct application of artificial intelligence. The other is, from what I have gathered after doing a bit of research on applications of artificial intelligence, is the top application is in the area of robotics and automation. Okay, we already know that robots are being used in manufacturing. Now we have something called iRobot.
Okay.
Okay, I just leave that machine on a small roller like thing. It will clean your entire home and come back. Okay, so these are simple applications which I told you, but as Vipul already said, people who are not aware of artificial intelligence often get surprised that I am trying to search for something in Google. How come it just came up with what I am going to search without fully typing?
Mm-hmm.
They think, okay, already number of people have already searched for it. That's why it is trying to catch up. But that's not the case. Using artificial intelligence, it's sensing what you are about to enter, what you are looking for. That's the reason anything you try to enter,
Mm-hmm.
it automatically matches in at least top 5
Mm-hmm.
matches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so searching has become easy. Earlier, searching means wherever it exactly matches in your entire world of documents,
Mm-hmm.
you get millions.
Mm-hmm.
But now they have become context sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
If I, for example, there was a match between New Zealand and Australia. I type New Zealand, it comes up with versus Australia.
Yeah.
Okay, I click it, it shows cricket match score.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I say it's? I just type in New Zealand. I did not say you show me cricket match score. I did not say versus Australia. But when it's coming up, because it knows that this person is searching for it only, because since last 2-3 months I am doing that job only in the Google. Whenever I want to see search. So it has started up, this person is using Google nowadays since last 2 months for cricket score. So let me show the today's match for him. So this is the application of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence applications now have become so much enormous that people say knowingly or unknowingly, 85% of the companies or more than that are using artificial intelligence. They don't know that they are using AI, but they are using AI.
Yeah.
So vast number of applications.
So, what do you want to say about it? Like, what is yours about applications of AI?
So we work from data from start to end, and artificial intelligence forms the topmost layer of our BI, business intelligence tool. So I will give a couple of examples of our customers where we have implemented AI and how this has benefited them. So for one of the Japanese insurance company, so we had used artificial intelligence to do churn prediction. How many of the customer would not renew their insurance? So we looked at their data, we did customer segmentation, clustering, and then basically using Python, we were able to find out how many people basically were not able to renew their policy on time, and basically what would be the churn prediction rate and how we can proactively go back to those customers, call them, and basically see that revenue is not leaked. In a couple of manufacturing companies, like we work with a lot of CFOs, chief financial officers, who looked at their revenue number for past 7 or 8 years. So this is legacy data, which could be done by using any tools. Now using machine learning, the CFO would be able to know what would be his profitability after 3 years, after 4 years. Similarly, for a workshop manager, he would be able to predict or forecast how many warranty defects would come looking at the historical data. So this is a data which all the business managers are today willing to look at.
Okay.
They have stopped looking at legacy data because this is already there in their data warehouse. They want to use artificial intelligence and machine learning language like R and Python to have a forecast of their future so that they can plan their budget and their resources accordingly.
Okay. Also, what do you want to say about this? Like, what is your say, and give some examples of applications of AI in different areas?
Yeah, sure. I mean, at GANScore, like my company where we work on, we are doing coaching and consulting with many companies
Achha.
over there and dealing with them with respect to how AI can be implemented in their companies and what are the benefits of that. So as a part of this, I mean, we have connected with some telecom companies, and like the major issues that come up with them is with respect to the churn management and how to promote new and new schemes to the subscribers. So that's where we look at the marketing pattern of the things, and we giving different recharge options to the users. So that kind of promotions are being applied. As a part of this, I mean, we have seen that yes, the telecom companies are extensively making use of this with respect to their marketing and in terms of the network management.
Coming back to sir, first it's like I read somewhere artificial intelligence. There are some features of human intelligence that artificial intelligence possess. It's like speech recognition, and then problem solving, decision making, and visual perception. So, sir, can you make me understand like how?
Yeah, actually that is the objective. A human, whatever he or she does, they are directives from your brain. Okay, so we have seen something, it's an image. Okay, it gets processed by our brain and then it gives advice to one of our organs,
Mm-hmm.
okay, that organ acts,
Mm.
okay. So that is why we have a field called image processing,
Okay.
okay. So if you consider a robot,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
a robot, though not an exactly human, but the shape is like a human. So now to make this robot acquire all the features of a human, you said speech recognition.
Huh.
Okay, how it basically how it recognizes speech. There is something called NLP,
Okay.
natural language processing. Okay. Now there are number of media sites, number of machines which support you with the text to speech facility.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
So, but at the same time, we also have speech to text facility.
Yes.
In Google
Yeah.
searching, you say something,
Like
comes
Siri,
up
for example, Siri.
Siri.
Yeah.
But I don't want to speak very much clearly about the differences between Siri and the Google.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who uses both
Huh.
will find a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That is where their algorithms are different. That some algorithms are able to catch your accent, some algorithms cannot catch your accent.
Mm-hmm.
The same is the case with pattern recognition. You are trying to type something in your SMS
Mm-hmm.
and the pattern is coming up and you directly select without fully typing.
Auto correction.
But at the same time, it is not the same with every software.
Okay.
Try it on iPad, you will find bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Try it on an Android phone, it's a bit different. Okay, so basically this robot,
Mm-hmm.
if it has to recognize images,
Huh.
it has to be programmed with image processing algorithms. That is how it is possible for it to recognize the images.
Mm-hmm.
Now here there are two things. One is called supervised learning,
Mm-hmm.
the other is unsupervised learning.
Okay.
In supervised learning, what happens is you provide a huge database to the machine, huge database. Okay, I have given you 1 lakh faces.
Mm.
I give you a face, search for it.
Mm.
It searches all 1 lakh faces, wherever matches it takes it.
It takes it, huh?
Unsupervised learning, you don't give 1 lakh faces.
Okay.
You give a feature.
Acha.
It should, based on the feature, it should come up with that particular person. So there something like the machine is able to think.
Okay.
Even in TV breaks and other places, they show you one face and they say whose cricketer face it matches. Tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, but they don't directly give you the images of
Images.
cricketer and say match it and
Yes.
anybody can match it. Okay, so robots, based on where you are going to use them, have to be programmed with appropriate image processing algorithms. Then they will be able to visualize, process, and give the output. So image processing is based, and then what is called computer vision.
Okay.
That is what is in a real action that computer is able to see.
Hmm.
When I say computer, you can apply it to robot. Okay, robot is also a computer. Ultimately, everything is run by computer.
So, sir, how do we pursue a career in artificial intelligence?
If one has to pursue a career in AI, the best option I suggest is to do a MOOC.
Okay.
Okay, and you can do MOOC on a Coursera. Our Minister of HR is Swayam platform. We have MOOCs
Right.
and Udacity. Some of these portals are offering free introductory course on artificial intelligence.
Okay.
So one can pursue it, and in case they are feeling interested, they can go for
They can
paid
go.
courses.
Okay.
And they can select University of Illinois or California, Stanford University, or
Mhm.
ignore any university and do a MOOC in artificial intelligence. A few days back, I studied about Coursera. They have tie-ups with companies, and you don't know that they have tie-up. But if you do very well in that MOOC,
Mm-hmm.
the company is going to give offer to you.
Mhm.
Okay, you are not looking for any job actually. You have just done that course, but you have done wonderfully.
And then
That
they
company itself gives an offer.
Okay.
So they have tie-ups with some companies
Mm.
which are watching you from the back. Brilliant, this person is doing extremely well, let's give an offer. They will look at your biodata because you are including your profile when you are registering for the
Mm.
course.
Mm.
So suddenly we don't know what will kick up and a person may become a specialist in AI.
Mhm.
But to start up, you have to go to a MOOC,
Okay.
start pursuing more and more interest, more areas, and we do not know when the person may get a big break in
Mm.
career.
So same question. How a student can pursue
Hmm.
artificial intelligence?
I will just let you know what things I look into a person when I hire him as a data scientist.
Mhm.
So first of all, a person should be passionate towards programming.
Okay.
So there are two kind of mindset. One is the analytical mindset,
Okay.
which basically is
You
tied
should be
towards programming.
interested. Huh.
Yeah. Other is a creative mindset that is basically more towards Photoshop and imaging kind of a thing. So
Okay.
person should be passionate towards programming. He should be a coder at heart.
Okay.
This is one thing basically which is required. He should have interest in mathematics, probability, stats, calculus, because these are the fundamental behind all algorithms.
Okay.
If you're passionate, have a computer science background in mathematics or computer science,
Mm.
and dedicated,
Mm.
then basically within a month you can start basically building on something.
Mm.
And if you have a programming background of Java or any object-oriented programming like C++, then it's a value add.
And sir, same question for you. How a student can pursue artificial intelligence career?
Well, in this one, when I say, I mean, the artificial intelligence is definitely there with respect to when we talk of algorithms and others, but then the scope of AI is growing up and it is going much bigger than these things. I mean, there we see that even the persons who are at the management side, they should know and value the artificial intelligence. And the persons who are at the software engineer level, they should also do it.
Mhm.
So there are different courses available for different levels and the different, I'll say the lateral courses available for the persons who are having 10 years experience already working in IT, or the persons who are just freshers coming up to the thing.
So that is all in the panel discussion today about why artificial intelligence suddenly. So now I would like to thank Dr. Suresh,
Thank you very much.
Dr. Vipul,
Thank you.
and Sunil
Thank
for
you.
making us understand better what is possible with AI today that was not possible earlier. Thank you.